Hi everyone, hope you're all having a great day. So today I'm in a different setting. I'm just sitting on a friend's sofa. I'm house sitting while they're away in Spain. And I thought I would talk a little bit about anxiety and how to overcome periods of time where you might feel more anxious or more overwhelmed, because this seems to be a common thing that I'm noticing amongst my friends and family and people in my close circle, and it's been coming up a lot lately, and I've just really been noticing some patterns that might be associated with it, and perhaps that could help you or anyone that you know that might be going through the same thing. Feeling anxiety is like a feeling where you're just getting either a lot of butterflies in your stomach, you're having trouble thinking and sleeping, and everything just seems to be 10 times more extreme than what it would normally be. And the things that I've started noticing is that anxiety tends to heighten when there is a lot of uncertainty in one's life. So, for example, my best friend, she moved from Ottawa to the other side of the country, to the West Coast. And she told me today that yesterday she started feeling extreme anxiety. And for her to move, to leave her family, leave her friends, and to move to a completely foreign city that she's never been to before is actually a huge shock on her body and her mind and her emotions, because there's so many changes and things that you have to adapt to, and it's not easy. One of the things that can trigger anxiety is uncertainty. So think about the things that are going on in your life that might be causing a lot of uncertainty. Are there things that you don't know? Perhaps you're in a commission-based job and you don't know when your next client is going to come, or when your next deal or your next break is going to be. Perhaps you're waiting to get into a school program, and that waiting period is causing more anxiety because you don't know whether you got into a school or if they rejected or accepted you. Those are some examples of uncertainty that can happen in your life that can cause a little bit more of that anxiety feeling. So the first thing I would suggest, and I'm not a doctor so I can't give medical advice, but just based on a lot of experience with anxiety myself and with seeing those around me that are experiencing the same thing, is if there's any way of just really embracing the process that you're in, regardless if there is a bit of uncertainty or not, that is probably the most important thing. And realizing that, oh my God, I just made this huge change in my life, or there's this big question mark that is not answered or that I don't know. If you recognize that, then you might be able to calm yourself down by saying that, okay, this is what's happening in my life right now. This is how I'm going to accept. So that uncertainty can definitely trigger anxiety. Another thing is avoiding giving answers. So let's say, for example, you have a decision to make and you just are having so much trouble saying yes or no, or picking options that are best for that situation. That can actually trigger a lot of anxiety, because you're leaving yourself in an unknown position. So by being indecisive, it's not helping you to really be confident in moving forward or moving towards your next step or your next goal. Practicing making decisions on a daily basis and being confident with your decision will help you to really have that confidence and really feel good about what you're doing. Because if you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should move, or maybe I should stay, or maybe it's better to move, and you're kind of going back and forth a lot on a decision, that can really cause those butterflies and that tightness in your stomach and feeling super, super overwhelmed. So what I like to do is, because I was really horrible at making decisions, I would hate it. Even now, going to a restaurant, I get a lot of anxiety where I have to decide on what to eat and what on the menu, or when I look at a menu and there's too many decisions, I start to get really nervous. I start to get very nervous. So what I do is before I go into a restaurant, I sort of narrow down what I feel like having, and I really make a conscious effort to decide and stick to that decision, and then just put the menu away and move on. So whatever decision that you're faced with in life, it could be related to money, your work, relationships, a move, whatever it is, starting a family, just know that the less decisions you have to make and the more confident you are, then the easier it will get, and you'll start to see things starting to evolve, because by not making decisions, you're kind of putting things on hold and you're not allowing yourself to fully experience that next stage. The third thing that I've noticed that causes anxiety with people, and especially personally with myself, is certain foods that are not digesting properly can really trigger more anxiety feelings. So for example, for me, I know I have to stay away from gluten and dairy, and recently I stopped eating meat. So as you all know, I'm a vegan as well. So that has really helped me to limit the anxiety feelings, and really watching what you eat, because sugar, if you're having too much sugar, that's going to spike your energy and crash. Caffeine is going to spike it and crash. So really pay attention to what you're eating and see if there's a pattern on how you're starting to feel with certain foods or drinks. The fourth thing that can definitely trigger anxiety, and I know for me it's like 100%, is especially for the only for the ladies out there, when your period is coming or that time of the month, that will definitely trigger emotions to be heightened. So if you're expecting your period, or if it's that time of the month, try to avoid making decisions, and just know and understand your body. Know what your body needs, if it needs rest, if it needs water. I think the biggest things these days is that, you know, there's a lot of pressure for men and women to be achieving, to be successful, to be continuously rising up this ladder, and to just it's almost like we've forgotten the basics on how to maintain balance, because we're so busy with trying to get, you know, all these likes on Instagram, or all these clients, or just to make more money, to be able to buy more things. But if we really focus on listening to our body, listening to our breath, and knowing the best environment for you. Like, I know people that are living in, you know, -20, -30 weather all winter long, and their bodies are just not designed for the winter. They get very depressed, they get very anxious, because they're meant to be in warmer climates. So the fifth thing I would say is look at the environment that you're in. Is your environment triggering or causing the anxiety? Is your home, the way that your home or your room is it really messy? Is it disorganized? Is there anything that you can do today to help really get your space in a peaceful and beautiful energy, to help you wake up in the morning and just feel like you're not overwhelmed and anxious? I really hope some of these tips helped. Again, these are all based on personal experience and things that I've noticed with my loved ones and people that are really close in my life, and I thought I would do a video on it. Just in case there's you know, any of you out there that are experiencing the same. If you have anxiety, or if you have periods of anxiety, I'd love to know how you deal with it, or what are some tips you can give. If you've had periods of uncertainty, or, you know, life changes or decisions to make, leave them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!